Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we are chatting about Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut, Eleanor the Great. This one is starring June Squibb, Erin Kellyman, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Jessica Hecht. What you think starts off as a very sweet story about two older female best friends who later one of them passes away, the other has to deal with the grief definitely turns into something far more different, far more complex when June Squibb's character Eleanor goes and joins a Jewish community center group. And in the process of listening to other people talk about their Holocaust experiences, she herself starts to talk about her own, except she is not a Holocaust survivor. Her best friend was. This story catches the attention of Nina, who is a young student journalist whose father is a big time journalist in New York City, and the fly just keeps going and spiraling a little bit out of hand. There were multiple reasons why I was interested in this film. One, it's Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut. It's always really interesting to see when an actor goes behind the camera and to see what it is that they want to tell. And two, it's June Squibb. I mean, she is an icon. She is just the cutest. This film is another great showcase for her. It reminded me so much of Thelma, where she is still this very funny, very biting older woman. She is able to take care of herself, even if it gets her into a little bit of trouble. I just adore her. And I really love that this film took its time to show an older female friendship. It's very sweet to see these two besties getting up in the morning, having their little slippers out by the front of their beds, clipping coupons, going to the store together. It's just so sweet and refreshing. It's certainly something that we don't often see too much in movies. It reminded me so much of Grace and Frankie. Maybe they're not making dirty jokes and very biting jokes to each other, but they just have such a warm, loving relationship between each other, and I just love that. The areas where I feel like Scarlett Johansson's directing really excels is in showing that elderly bond and friendship between those two women, and also in the friendship that develops between Eleanor and Nina as they meet in this community center. And Nina is so struck and taken by Eleanor's story and her past. She wants to spend time with her. She wants to profile her for her journalism class. And in the process, a really beautiful friendship forms between the two of them. Nina is also someone who is grieving in her own right. Her mother very recently passed away, and so she hasn't had the support that she needs from her father, Roger. It's just so lovely to see Eleanor be able to be that person for her. She's encouraging her to talk about her mom, to find the right words to describe her feelings in a time when she is usually locking them up inside of her and not really knowing how to talk about it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the bond in Lost in Translation, where Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray's characters, they're just kind of these lost travelers. They're on their own, don't really know how to talk to other people slash other people don't necessarily want to give them the time, but they give each other that time. And I mean, of course, Up comes to mind when it comes to an older person and a younger person finding a lovely bond between each other. Thelma too, in that Thelma and her grandson kind of found a little bond with each other. Now, the lie in this film is probably the most problematic aspect that people have with this film. For me personally, I was okay with it. I was just focusing on the film itself. I wasn't necessarily thinking a whole lot into it. However, I do recognize and acknowledge other people who may not have that same opinion as me. So it wasn't that I had a problem with the lie, it's just that I don't really think that it was necessary. I much rather enjoyed the moments where it's just Eleanor and Nina talking. It's just them figuring out how to process their grief with each other. It's them picking out cute outfits for each other. I know that this lie is the catalyst for this friendship, but I feel like there's already something there between the two of them that they did not need to rely on this lie in this film, in their relationship, in order to kickstart it. I much rather would have seen them just kind of learning more about each other and figuring out how to move past a decades long friendship, a decades long mother daughter relationship that both of them have just kind of been taken away from them in a moment. This film does a really great job already of examining grief. I mean, just looking at Nina and her father in the way that they can't communicate with each other. Roger just cannot say his wife's name. He doesn't want to think about it. He wants to much rather bury himself in his work, very akin to Manchester by the Sea, in that a uncle and nephew, when they really need each other, they just don't know how to communicate with each other. And this nephew is looking up to his uncle for just some type of guidance and some kind words. And the uncle is already dealing with enough in his plate. He cannot bear to withstand what his nephew needs from him. I also think that the cinematography in this film is very drab. It just kind of lacks any color. It's not too interesting to look at. That was a bit disappointing as well, considering that Scarlett has been a part of so many vibrant projects. I mean, I think of all the Wes Anderson films that she has been a part of. Overall, I'm going to give Eleanor the Great 3 out of 5 stars. Again, June Squibb being in her prime and being so cute definitely carries this film for me. There's stuff there that really could have made this such a wonderful and beautiful expression of grief and finding connection when you most need it. I just wish certain elements weren't necessarily in this film. But I am excited to see what else Scarlett Johansson has coming up. I mean, this year alone has given us so many actors turned directors. I mean, Kristen Stewart, Harris Dickinson, they both had films that came out at Cannes. At TIFF too, we had a couple of them as well, with Aziz Ansari and Maud Apatow, for example. So it's a very interesting trend. I know that there has been an article written on these vanity projects recently, and I say if they're good, great, I'll take them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you here next time.